All right, welcome to another episode of Vital DocTalk. And today on the show, we have Dr. Andrea Greiner with me. And also the first episode I have with the background. I'm getting better, guys. You know, a collared shirt, I was told I wasn't cool or professional looking enough. So I got the collared shirt going now. I got the background, and we're stepping it up every day.
Yeah.
Every day is a chance to improve, as I like to say. But it's not about me. Today's episode is all about Dr. Andrea. So Dr. Andrea, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you. I'm happy to be here. I love the background. It looks
Thank you.
awesome.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's not inverted, but it doesn't matter. Tell us more about you, because you matter today. Tell us more about your background and how you got to where you are today, and maybe even your future vision.
Yeah, great. Thank you. So I am a naturopathic doctor and acupuncturist and studied in Portland, Oregon. And I'm just south of Portland in a little town called Canby. So I had a clinic running in Silverton and really focusing on women's health, pelvic floor, doing different acupuncture sessions. And things have shifted so much. So I started out right out of school with a residency focusing on just family health, and then moved into working for Zoom Care and doing really urgent care visits for, seeing 20 people a day at that very quick pace, 15-minute visits. And I wanted to do that. I wanted to do both of those to really just nail down, making sure I could identify an emergency, knowing how to essentially be like a medical doctor in a sense of just that quick pace, knowing that world, so that then I could create a practice where it was different. But I wanted to kind of know that other world. And so after I did that for about 2.5 years, I started a practice 2 years ago, and involving the more energetics of things, acupuncture, slowing down, supporting people's pain, but really giving time and quality care where people feel seen and heard and supported in longer visits. And so from there, I'll share a little bit in a second about, we're in COVID, and so we're in a pandemic, so things have really shifted, but that was really the flow of coming out of NUNM in Portland and having that experience of being a quick doctor. I wanted to know what it was like to have that pace and not just have 2-hour long visits. And naturopaths are very informed, and we can also have poor time management. So I was really wanting to get educated to be succinct in delivering care, and then have the ability to stretch out and kind of get more what I call like woo-woo, or into the acupuncture, into the energy of healing. So.
And how long have you been a doctor for?
Yeah, so about 5 years.
Wow.
6. So I guess this is 6. We're in the 6th year.
That's awesome. I think I'm in year 5 actually as well. And I think things really it's like you start out thinking one thing and it's completely different, right? So yeah. With that being said, let's get into my favorite question is, if you're talking to other doctors, et cetera, what's your favorite method you use today to grow your practice and improve it?
Yeah, so I saw the questions before and I pondered this. I really like the organic model of reaching out to different people, whichever platform you're on, because I do coordinate with doctors and healers in general. So part of my role in what I'm doing is to inspire healers, so not just doctors. So I'm using Facebook groups and Facebook and LinkedIn, but I'm loving creating more financial independence from what our healthcare system has set up for like one visit. So I've stepped into this other marketing realm of doing what's called live launches, where you go live in your group every single day and you're giving a lot of tools, and then you're promoting whatever service you're providing to different people.
Now, do you use like local Facebook groups, or are they just in general? How can you take us like through a kind of a specific scenario that a doctor would think, oh, wow, I could do that, or that is feasible?
Yes. So for a doctor, let's say I've split off and now I don't have a physical clinic. So let's say you had a physical clinic and you wanted to build your online presence, because I think it's really important to have both right now. So then you would think of something that you could bring people together and educate them on in more of like, you could do like a paid Facebook group, but you could pull in your clients or your patients in a group, let's say so I've seen someone do like fun summer meals, and they have a Facebook group, and they're just you're kind of giving free content, or you're giving the information that you're teaching all of the time, right? Those things you're telling your clients and patients over and over and over, like, how are you sleeping? How are you eating? How are you managing your stress? And you bring that into a forum of your own. So you kind of build a group of your own to teach what you're teaching every single day anyway. So then when people come in and see you as a patient or a client, they're already prepared. They come in and they're like, oh yeah, I've seen all your live videos. I love what you're talking about. I actually have done all your prep. And so they're actually they're a couple visits ahead because they've listened to you and like dig what you're saying, instead of like when you see a new patient and they know nothing about you and they're only there because of your insurance. They're like, who are you and why are you
starting from scratch that way?
Yeah.
So, and then are these your Facebook groups that you run, or like
so for me, I have a specific one for, Ray of Light Meridian Therapy, which is the form of healing I've created. So I have created a platform so I can support healers all over the world. So I invite them into the group. The goal is ultimately to go live or do a engaging post at least 5 days of the week. Some weekends I like to take off. So, but it's like a space of encouraging or energy tips and tools, or, but I've seen other, let's say other naturopaths do like I said, summer eating, like easy diet choices during the summer that take 15 minutes. So they are your own private groups, and you're building it, and you're obviously doing if you're a doctor doing this, you're just saying, I'm in this online setting, I am not acting as your physician. Like, don't message me with medical questions. Or, like if they do, you say, oh, that takes a visit, or I'm not in the space to be able to give you medical recommendations, as well. So that awesome. I think that's the trick, is like, where doctors are kind of scared to put themselves out there because then people want free medical advice. And you just have to continue to say, I am not your medical provider in this sense online.
Yeah, in this setting right now, right? So, right. etc. Yeah. So could you tell us maybe could you give us like a customer example or a patient example, where somebody finds you on the Facebook group, maybe locally or whatever? You don't have to give the exact groups out, because I understand, it's obviously your practice. And then kind of how that cycle looked like. Was it a lot of work? Did it take like 3 months to get the person, or, tell us more. Tell us about that first interaction. Actually, that would probably be the most exciting. I always love that first story. Like the first time we got a client from SEO, I was like, yes, this can work.
Like, yes. Well, and I'm moving in a couple of different directions. So this is a group I've had going for several years, because I started it as like, I do a lot of essential oils. So I started it as like a place to just inform about safe and effective uses of essential oils, which a lot of people are looking for from a doctor, because there's so much information about essential oils. So, but it can build quickly. So sometimes people think, oh my gosh, I have to build a group and that could take forever. What really matters is, when you're inviting people to your group, don't just send them a link and say, hey, come to my group. Because then they're going to be like, well, what are you going to sell me? If they're not your patients already. Like, let's say you can build a group from non-patient people and turn them into patients, right? So let's say you're in Seattle and you join some other groups and you kind of meet some people, because they ultimately don't want to be, the big thing is like, we're all worried about being sold to, but everything fails at the same time. So true. If you're inviting people into your group, like explaining why you want them to be there. So it takes a teeny bit of time, but I could go over to Vlad's Facebook page or LinkedIn and say, hey, Vlad, this is so cool. I love what you're doing. I have a Facebook group that does ... Do you want to just come in for free and check it out? And people are going to say yes or no.
And how many messages does it normally take to actually get a member on your group? And then how many members do you need for it to actually be useful? Like, I have a LinkedIn group, right? We have a Connecting Doctors group, because our mission is to empower doctors, right? And we actually stopped. Like one of my team members' goals was to get 1,500 members. But I was like, we have so much going on and all that. We stopped that. So how many members do we need? And then like, how do you get that engagement going? I mean, there's a lot.
Right.
Here, right?
Yeah. So this is like, I'm a newbie. I'm about to enroll with a mastermind where they really dive into this.
And what is the name of that mastermind, by the way?
The name of that is the Unstoppables.
Unstoppables. Awesome.
So I did a 48-hour training that was like a free boot camp in their Facebook group. to teach you how to do a live launch, because I had done one before in December, and then I did another one because I actually had something not that I didn't have something of value in December, but I had created this healing certification. So at this point, a live launch made sense. So what they had said was, if you're going to do anything where you're really getting engagement to sell something, but you're giving a ton of information, and this is again from the Unstoppables by Kelly Roach, they said to have a group of at least 300 people. And this is like, let's say you were going to launch into part of your business, like teaching about SEO and all of that, like you're wanting doctors to really feel supported. So you would give them a ton of free content. You would like prepare for like 2 weeks to say, we're going into this launch. We really want to help doctors to learn how to do this, but also know that we're here to support them. And like, once you decide you're doing a launch for like a week, then you're giving a ton of free information. Like you could do for you, Vlad, or you could do for a doctor, like that, of all the things you're telling people all the time. And then let's say you're launching into a sleep program. So you're not giving away the sleep program, but you're teaching people in the first part of the launch, like how to do the things so that they have a transformation for free. And they're like, well, of course I'll pay for your program.
And have you gotten a client out of it yet?
Yeah. So I launched, this is funny. I wasn't planning on talking about this, but I did launch 3 weeks ago, and my group wasn't quite 300. I had 200 and almost 50, but and I did about a 10-day launch. So in that 10 days, I built it by 45 people. So at the end, I almost had 300. They said start with 300. I was like, I have 250. I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to jump in. And I had like content. I knew what I was going to sell, and I knew I could give a transformation.
I like to pause right there for a second, because I think a lot of doctors are very smart, just even business people in general, but doctors specifically, they're very smart, analysis paralysis. And you guys take a note out of Dr. Andrea's book, right? She said, okay, screw it. I have 250 instead of 300. I'm just going to do it. And it actually ended up being successful. So keep going. I just wanted to highlight that. That's a great characteristic.
Well, and it's true. It's better, it's better done, or what is it? What's that saying? It's better done than not done. Or there's something about it's.
I'll give you another one. Good is the enemy of perfect, right? So it's like you can never really get it perfect, but you can do a good job and just keep going through and improve. Like me, right? No collared shirt, background. There you go. I've got a better camera now, so all that.
Exactly.
So keep taking us on that journey. Yeah. I'd love to hear about that first client that came in, how long it took, all that.
Oh yeah. So the big thing was giving a ton of content. So I went live in the group. I had shared, like, this is the launch. My launch was called Helping Healers Heal Anywhere. So you want a short launch name and what you're going to offer. So I offer an energy healing program that allows healers to access their acupuncture meridians, and that then they can heal and support anybody anywhere. So that was why I made that launch name. So I knew I had a pretty active group of 250, and I was building it as I was launching. And every single day I made like a little simple workbook, like Canva, fill in the blank, so that they would be engaged. And I offered like an essential oil each day for people that were in the live video. So you give it's fun. They're like watching you live to get something free, and they're following along with an easy fill in. I made the handout the day before, right? Or that morning of, I can't even remember, because I was like, I'm doing this, I'm set to do it. And so I went live for 7 to 8 days in a row. And the first 4 days, I just gave free content. It was like how to clear your energy when you're feeling super sluggish, or how important knowing how to reset your energy, right? So there's a lot going on in the world. If we get sucked into the news streams, we're like, oh my gosh, but we really need to be discerning of like what's good for us and what's not. And so it was, every video was about 30 to 40 minutes, but it's live. So it's like people are there, they're engaging, they're like, oh my gosh. And then by day 4, they've already had transformations, because every single day I give them an energy tool or homework to do. I teach them about specific energy acupuncture points they can access, and they've done that on their own. And so in 4 days, they're like, if they do what I tell them to, they're going to be better, or they're going to notice a shift. And then by day 4, I open my carts, and what I am selling is a certification. So 2 different ways, a self-study or a live coaching program, so that when they're done with an 8-week program, they have the business tools and a healing modality and system to support groups of people and create a new financial paradigm for themselves. It takes you out of the one-on-one model, puts you in group healing sessions. So they've done that, they've healed themselves. They realize how powerful what I'm talking about is. And then by Friday, so I launched on Monday, by Friday, I had 4 people enrolled.
Wow. 4 people in 1
5
week.
days.
In 5 days.
Yeah.
And in terms of enrollment, do they have to pay, or is that enrollment like a free consultation type thing?
So they do have to pay. So enrolls means but I did create, this is an investment. So I created different payment plans. Mm-hmm. So 3, either for the larger coaching, they could do a 6-month payment plan.
That is phenomenal. I could end the episode right here, and I think doctors would just reach out to you because this is fantastic.
Oh my gosh!
Everybody wants, like, this Facebook group thing. By the way, we've never talked about on the show in the past. I'm not saying we never will. Just like I had another episode a couple days ago, TikTok. We don't talk about TikTok, the platform, right? So this is a great topic. You said, hey, it took a week. I got 4 people enrolled, paying on my program. Like, I think doctors will love this. If you guys are listening out there, I'll reach out to Dr. Andrea right now. Okay, and so let's we went quite deep into this marketing side. Let's go to the other side, which is the challenges, right? Obviously, this marketing method was born out of the struggle of COVID, because this is recent, right? So how did that impact you? I'm sure you hit a low. Maybe tell us, like, how what you did when you hit that low, and then now you're obviously on a great path. And I love that.
So, where to start? So really, I'll just talk about like what shifted. So that first week of COVID in March, I had a clinic in a town close to here, like 30 minutes away. I'm not acting as a primary care physician. I'm acting more as like specialist for pelvic floor and acupuncture. So it wasn't like I have a massive patient base needing a bunch of medication refills, and that's just not how I practice. So we stayed home, and that first week I was really just like, how can I support the most people right now? Because I wasn't working in an urgent care setting, which felt like that's how we can physically support. So I knew something was needed, and I reached out to some different coaches and got some guidance, and they were like, you're going to create an energy modality to help heal. I was thinking at first to help acupuncturists heal from anywhere, that my first thought was like, there's thousands of acupuncturists not practicing, and that means there's tens of thousands of people that used to receive acupuncture not having pain relief, not having the mental emotional stability from acupuncture, not having that. And then on the wider scale, I kept thinking of like the massage therapists or the Reiki healers, or people that enrolled in my program are occupational therapists and physical therapists in the hospital setting that are feeling really discouraged by what their current setting is. So I was a little surprised by that, but ultimately what came through was this group healing. It's more, so I created Ray of Light Meridian therapy. And that's a form of meditation using visualization to release pain and color, like Reiki in a way, but it's not Reiki. And then the ability to access your specific energy acupuncture points to help you adjust your pain, to help you, we're all feeling like emotionally overwhelmed. So how do you feel more grounded when we don't really know what the heck is going on? And so this form, I just jumped in, same thing as my launch. I was like, okay, well, I don't feel like I have anything to lose, and my clinic is closed. So I want to be helping more people. So I just jumped in and helped a bunch of groups of friends. So that first week, once this was developed, it was developed in a day, and I supported 25 people the first week for free, because I was like, hey, can I just practice and see if this even makes a difference?
These are doctor friends, or just friends that are healers?
Just friends in general, because they're some are doctors, some are like a yoga instructors at a yoga studio. So I connected with them. There's like 10 of them, because they're also a big, all yoga instructors are pivoting and being like, how the heck, what are we supposed to do? So to just see if the form was going to work. And every single person came back and they were like, I went in hesitant and I left with my pain improved, or I went in stressed and I left feeling more grounded. And so I just took that as a sign, like, I'm just going to go with this. I'm going to trademark it. And then the next step is really to get where I am now, is to get more and more people certified so that we can plug in. So my big goal is like plugging into different companies and supporting, employees of 500 at different companies, and then teaching doctors. Maybe a doctor wants to keep their practice, but they don't need to stress out about the one-on-one flow.
And I will say this also, you are on fire right now, right? Like, you did this Facebook group, you've done this new program, like, you probably thrived a lot more than the average doctor after COVID. You used COVID as a turning point for the better, right? You're like, okay, how can I use it to my advantage? Everybody needs to come up with practices that they offer, through telemedicine. And here you are, you're like, hey, I need to do this. I'm going to create it for myself and pass it on. So that's phenomenal. Yeah. If you were talking to a doctor out there who wanted to follow, in your footsteps, obviously, and the Facebook group, right? What would be like your one tip or takeaway for them, like, to succeed? Or
Yes. So Facebook group, but on a bigger scale, because I've talked to a lot of doctors and just healthcare providers, and I do a lot of mindset work. I really think it was a disservice that we received in naturopathic school, and I know that they received in medical school, is that we have to treat everyone. And when we go into the world thinking we have to serve every single person at the lowest price point possible, we're not actually serving as many people as we can. So to niche down, that is like my vital action that I read I wanted to what would I share that to me has been the most transformational for doctors, is to really niche down and to create different tiered programs so that you can actually help more people. But when we go in and we say, I want to help everybody, because that's a very doctor mentality, as naturopaths and acupuncturists, we want to help everybody. But how we serve the most people is when we niche down in our ideal client and really go with what inspires us. And then we create different tiers of access. So we have a free thing that we give people. We have a $37 thing we give people. We have a $2,500 thing we give people. We have a $10,000 investment that people come to see us for. And that way you can serve more people. But if
I love that. I think there's a great marketer out there, by the way. His name is Evan Pig, and he has this concept, moving the free line. I don't even know if he invented it, but basically it starts with the free people. Then there's like the $20 ebook, etc. And so your job to growing your practice or service, right, is to take people from one stage to the next. And then basically, if you can't take them to the next stage, that's the stage you should focus on improving. And then you've got this full funnel figured out. And then your job is just to basically improve the funnel overall, right? So right. I love that, Dr. Andrea, you crushed it. Dr. Greiner, tell us more, right, about you. Where can we reach you? What should we be checking out?
Yeah.
Plug it up.
So the best places right now are my Facebook group. So that's the Ray of Light Meridian Therapy. You can just Google it. As far as healers and just people that are like, what is energy medicine? Like how you and I talked, you're like, I thought it was kind of, you buy a necklace and you feel better.
Yeah.
But it's not.
It was so yeah. And we can go into more detail here, right? So I thought originally, whenever people say energy therapy, right, I'm thinking like, this is quacky to me, but then if you look at it from like, hey, meditation point of view, like a psychologist and a psychiatrist, they help you with your mindset, and that can be very therapeutic, right? So I think this is, and I think doctors in general, right, we all know like there's two sides of this coin. For whatever procedure or anything, there's always a dark side and a good side to it. So I appreciate us addressing that. So yeah, so keep going, keep plugging away. So there's a Facebook group,
and then LinkedIn. I know Vlad is over there. So Dr. Andrea Greiner over there. And my website is in creation. It'll be done in about 7 to 10 days. And so that's drandrea.org.
Yeah, drandrea.org.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, drandreagreiner.org. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, drandreagreiner.org, guys. And the Facebook, not the Facebook, and the website will be complete, by the way, because it takes 10 business days for us to upload a podcast. So you'll be set there, guys. So go check that website out. Yep. And
we'll put those links below too. So. What's that? Oh, what did you say? I missed
Oh,
what
anything else we should check out?
Yeah, I mean, the group is awesome. My personal Facebook is really where I do a lot of talking to, but the group is like you get introduced I'm going to launch again in August, so you can even just experience that and be like, "Oh, I could do this." Like what inspired me to do a live launch was watching somebody and be like, "That was awesome. I want to do that. That looks fun." Where sales as doctors sounds like hell, right? So
Yeah.
how do you make it fun? And what it is sharing what you value and what you bring into your practice. Because if you're not inspired in the information you're giving, then maybe you should do a pause and like, what makes you excited to get up and serve people?
100%, guys. And Dr. Greiner here, obviously, she believes in what she does, and that makes it a lot easier to give. You look at it as you're giving a gift to somebody else, and that's much better. So check her stuff out. Go to drandreagreiner.com. Check her out on LinkedIn. And thank you guys so much. That was another episode of Vital Doc Talk.
Yes, thank you. That was fun.